AEW Grand Slam Mexico was last night, and it was top tier. And MJF came back and had some choice words. Let's get into all of that. Welcome back, everybody, to Screw Script, and your host, as always, Maverick. Thanks for joining me this Thursday night. Let's get right into it, you guys. Grand Slam Mexico was last night, and honestly, it outperformed WWE SummerSlam. I'm only bringing it up because a lot of people are talking about whether or not it was going to be as good or not, even though we still have All In and Wembley at the end of the month, which is going to be the far superior show to SummerSlam, because this show was better than SummerSlam. It was a free pay-per-view on TV for people at home, like myself, almost 3 hours long, 8 matches, and not a single bad match on the entire card. The whole night was superb. Look at the cage match ratings you have up there at the time of this recording, a 9.11, and I am going to give it a 5 out of 6 cans of whoop ass. That is my rating system for those of you who are new here. I do a 1 through 6 cans of whoop ass rating system, 1 being bad, 6 being a perfect pack. 6 I've only handed out, I think, a few of them ever on this channel. It's really rare to get. And there's one thing that I'll get to in a few minutes that held it back from being a perfect pack, but still, a 5 out of 6 is still a great show, and that it was. Look at everything that you had on here. You had the Ciampa Andrade Commander match. Andrade ends up winning that. He's the number 1 spot for the Men's Casino Gauntlet after winning that. And then, before we get any further into Grand Slam Mexico, MJF comes out. He jumps Andrade, bloodies him bad, and then he goes on a rant saying that he is the one true champion, that the Triple B is the only champion that should be recognized. He's on a wrecking path, essentially, to get back to the main title picture. He is going to be in a qualifying match, I believe this upcoming Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, for the Casino Gauntlet match. Maybe he wins. I feel like that's a safe pick, to just have MJF win that and then get right back up to the main title picture. Andrade, the fact that he's a national champ, I don't think he needs to win it per se. I would personally like to see Takeshita win it if he's going to be in that gauntlet match. You got to have him being utilized, because right now he's not doing anything for All In, so have Takeshita in that match. I'm sure they'll have a surprise or two here, maybe either a return, somebody who's been hurt for a while. I'd like to see Wardlow back in it personally. And there's actually a name, you guys, that I'm going to mention. Wait until the end of the video to see that. It's very controversial, of a possible person that could be at All In. Another thing that happened is you saw the confirmation that the Divine Dominion will in fact defend against the Brawling Birds at All In and Wembley. That should be a really good show. It's been building to that for the last couple of months now. I've been talking about it on my channel for a while, saying and claiming that they are going to be the team to beat Divine Dominion, and I think still it is going to be them. Perfect show for them to win at All In. The crowd's going to be right behind them for that, and it's going to be a great moment if they do end up succeeding. Other things that you had happen, you had Persephone beat Chris Statlander. Solid match. I really like Persephone. Mystico Jericho and Darby Allin won against the Don Callis family, even furthering issues with the Don Callis family, like I've pointed out. KJ Cope and the Bucks lost to the Death Riders to open up the show. Adam Copeland had a great entrance to start the show. It really got the crowd hyped. Mark Davis and Will Ospreay beat the shit out of each other, and honestly, they had a more brutal match than what Hell in a Cell could have been at SummerSlam. I've ranted about it before, that SummerSlam, one of the biggest misses of the weekend was utilizing the actual cell in the match. They didn't do shit. You could have taken every single move, every single spot, everything about that match, and not changed a damn thing, and just gotten rid of the Hell in a Cell, and nothing would have been different. Because they wouldn't have needed the cell, because they didn't use it. And this match was more brutal than that. Both guys bled. They hit each other with their finishers and everything. It was a great way to close out the show. But you're probably asking, Maverick, why isn't this a perfect pack? Why isn't this a 6 out of 6? Well, you guys, maybe I'm in the minority here. I personally did not like that the Demand dropped the trios titles so quickly against Adam Page and Bro Dito. I love Brodito. You know that I love Bandito. Everyone on this channel who's been watching me for a while, they know that I love Bandito. But I just think that, why would you take the titles off the Demand as quick as they got them? I really think that they were really building themselves as a solid heel faction. And so that is the one drawback of the whole night. The one thing that can knock it on from not being a perfect pack. I just didn't like it. Again, you could be disagreeing with me entirely here. That's totally okay. I just think that you should have kept the belts on the demand for a little while, maybe at least until All In, and then lose it there, but not have only one successful title defense and then the following week lose it, because we're really playing hot potato with these trio belts. I just didn't like it, and that is the only knockback of the show. Otherwise, it was damn near perfect. Now to go on to some Continental Cup talk. I'm going to have someone I'm going to shout out here in a few moments. That's a subscriber of mine who I engage with over my Instagram profile. And if you haven't followed my Instagram profile, I have it down in the description. Click on it. Go ahead and give me a follow. I'm not super active on there. I'm going to do my best to become a little bit more active on there, so I have content on there for you guys as well to follow. But I also comment on a lot of AEW things using that Instagram profile. I'm sure you've seen, some of you at least have seen comments on AEW posts and things like that. Here's a fun one from Kurt Adams. Shout out to you. He goes on to say, with regards to the Continental Cup, Tony is basing this off of the FA Cup, a season-long knockout cup played between league games where the final is played at Wembley. It's a cup where every team in England, no matter how big or small, is entered and has a chance to go to the final no matter how slim. Usually it's two top-tier teams in the final, but the FA Cup is known for its giant killings and cup runs. So if he's basing it off that, don't be surprised to see a few upsets on the way. We don't have playoffs because first place wins the league and because of relegation, promotion, but the cup is like a season-long drawn-out playoffs. Lifting the FA Cup at Wembley is a dream for every kid in the UK. So that's brilliant, because I don't live out that way. So I enjoy engaging with this guy on Instagram. He's also a great tattoo artist. So again, go follow him. To search Kurt Adams. And it's great to hear this stuff from fans on the other side of the world, essentially, that watch my channel, that support my channel. So thank you for that comment. Thank you for that information. I agree. It does seem like that the Summer Continental Cup is very much going to be something similar like that. We probably will see some upsets. Fingers crossed, Nigel and Eddie Kingston. Those are the first round upsets that I would love to see. And then I had someone comment on my last video more on the Continental Cup, and I'm just letting you guys know my opinion and what I would do with this. This person, JR-HE6FN, I'm sorry if that's supposed to stand for something, but I'll shout you out anyways. They go on to say, the only thing that I don't like about the cup is how after this cup, random people get title shots for the Continental title after the winner had to go through this whole thing. And so I had this response. That's a fair point. It definitely takes away a bit from the prestige of winning such a grueling tournament. Maybe Tony Khan will come up with a way to have a Continental Circuit. That's what I called it. I think a Continental Circuit would be a great idea. You enter it, and that's the title you fight for a 6-month stretch, and work your way up, become the champ, or lose the title. You can gain it back to you in that 6-month stretch. Basically, it's just a pool of guys that enter in the Continental Circuit, and that's who they feud with for half a year. That's the title they gun for half a year, and I think it would keep things really fresh, and I think it would solve that issue that person had about the Continental Championship and the C2 and the Continental Cup. Now going on to other pro wrestling news. Before we get to the controversial name that I told you guys about, real quick, MLP Mayhem, Andrade. He is all over the place right now. He's going to have a match against TJP. He still wrestles. He's still great in the ring. And he's actually pulling double duty, because we also see that Evil Uno, TJP, Johnny TV, and Jonathan Gresham are having a match on Mayhem. That's already happened. If you haven't watched that, go ahead and watch it on my AEW. It's free to watch. And then later on this week, again, you will see Night 1, Andrade El Ilo versus TJP. I'm not entirely sure when that'll be available for my AEW, but that should also be a really good match. MLP is one of my favorite independent promotions, so I just wanted to shout them out real quick there. Now, you guys, before we get on to the DDT, here's a controversial name that I mentioned earlier. Someone that could potentially return at All In for this Casino Gauntlet. That is none other than Tommy End, who used to be Malachi Black, Aleister Black in WWE. He is officially a free agent. He has He can sign anywhere now at this point. He had an interesting video that popped up on socials today, actually. Here's an image of him right up there, completely shaven. And he's going by Tommy End now. His socials are Tommy End. He is no longer Aleister Black, no longer Malachi Black. And yes, this is a very controversial name. He didn't have the best end with AEW when he left. There's rumors saying that he didn't want to eat pins, that he wanted to have certain victories, he wanted to go after the world title and this and that. I guess somewhere along the lines worded it like he was stuck in AEW or that he was forced to go to AEW after being released by WWE. He went back to WWE, probably expecting it to be a little bit different since Triple H was in charge, but very quickly found out that it's actually TKO that holds Triple H's balls for him. And makes all the awful decisions that they make, probably with AI slop writing. And so this video was interesting, and it could be a way back for him in AEW if he does, in fact, go back to AEW. And maybe this is the way of him righting his wrongs with Tony Khan and AEW and us as a fan base by just eliminating the Malachi Black character, finally going back to his Tommy End name, which I always preferred in his career, even dating before he joined NXT, but back in the black and gold era. And I think the shaved head look is actually a pretty badass look for him. More room for tattoos. Let me know down below what you think about that. Again, I know it's going to be controversial. I say only let him back if he is willing to eat pins, willing to work as a worker and not just get fed whatever he wants, be a true team player and actually want to be in AEW this time around, much like Andrade. Andrade, when he left, wasn't as rocky of a departure, but him coming back, look how great he's done. So if we can give him the benefit of the doubt, I think if, and only if, Tommy End comes back to AEW, give him the benefit of the doubt if he's had a good talking with Tony Khan and just see how things go a second run. Now on to the DDTs of this video. Yes, you heard that right. DDTs. I've got two of them again for you guys, starting with the first one. This is a wrestler. I'm calling out a wrestler joining the DDT list. Danhausen versus Dirty Dom is currently one of the lowest rated matches in WWE history on Cage Match, which it is. It's fucking pitiful. Matt Cardona, the DDT goes out to you. He goes on to say, who gives a shit about Cage Match? And I love that Wrestle Features called him out on his bullshit from 3 years ago, saying you, and highlighted a comment from 3 years ago. Holy fucking shit, Cardona versus Joshua Bishop is currently rated 9.99 on Cage Match. To say that people loved this is an understatement. So I don't even have to bash you on this. Wrestle Features did it for me. And for that embarrassing reason, Matt Cardona, you're the first half of this video's DDT. Completely called you out and showed your own hypocrisy on your own post. And we got Raj Giri again, you guys. Again, this guy, I think, is a total clown now. I used to watch this guy and his podcast. I forget what it was called. Wrestling Inc. podcast or some shit like that. He goes on to say that Obafemi Brock Lesnar segment on Raw is over 1.1 million views on their socials, on their YouTube channel. That Kenny Omega Ospreay promo, 56,000. But there are hucksters out there that will try to sell that more people are watching Dynamite than Raw. And before I say my piece, people called him out. Jacob Floyd said, definitely more people watch WWE than AEW. Like how many more people shop at Walmart than they do smaller stores with better quality products. Very true. Wendy Coven, all right, I'll bite. WWE is one of the biggest YouTube channels, I believe top 10. Many people choose not to watch Raw and just watch the clips. Yes, I am going to pause right there. That's where I was going to go with this. I don't fucking watch shitty-ass Raw or SmackDown anymore, especially SmackDown. I watch YouTube clips. A lot of people watch their YouTube clips now because they, too, do not want to sit through that insufferable bullshit. But for those reasons, Raj Giri, those reasons are why you are on the DDT list. That's all I had on this episode of Screw Script. Again, let me know down below what your thoughts are on Grand Slam Mexico. Again, always like, comment, subscribe, hype the video, you guys. It really, really helps. Hyping the video helps a ton. Just give that a quick swipe from the comments. Swipe to the left, click hype, and it will boost the ratings of this video for small channels like myself, and we'll get more people to join the STS Society. As always, this has been Maverick, a voice for you sickos out there. Thanks for watching.